All right. Chapter 2 review, matrices, systems, all that good stuff. So, number 1, they give you this graph here, and you have to identify, is it consistent, independent, consistent and dependent, or inconsistent? Okay. First off, these 2 lines here, what are they? Parallel. So will they ever touch? No. Okay. That is considered inconsistent because they don't touch. Okay. You will not have an answer. There is no solutions there. Okay. When you do have solutions, it's called consistent. Okay. Now, it can be consistent independent or consistent dependent. Okay. Usually when you're independent, how many things are we talking about? 1. Like if I'm independent, I'm an independent guy. I don't need anybody else. It's just me. So you got 1. So when you have 1 answer, when they're just crossing, I'm just going to draw a line. When they're crossing and they're intersecting at 1 point, that's consistent and independent because there's 1 answer. Okay. If they're 2 lines on top of each other, like that, we call that infinite solutions when you're working it out. Okay. That's consistent and dependent. All right. So you got 3 options. They're either all the time working, you get an answer, a whole bunch of answers, consistent, dependent. There's only 1 answer when they're just crossing once. Okay. That's consistent, independent, because again, independent usually means 1. And if they're not touching, it's inconsistent. Any questions? Everybody good? All right. Number 2, you needed to solve by graphing. So both of these equations, I need to solve for what? Solve for y. Okay. So this first one right here, what can I move to get that to solve for y? The 6. Just subtract 6. So that will be y equals negative 3x minus 6. And then for this one, a little more to do. I'm actually going to move the 6y because everything is on the left. So I'm just going to move the 6y over, okay? Because rather than moving 2 things, you're just moving 1. Okay, now I did write the negative 6y first because it doesn't matter, right? Okay, and then we need to divide everything by negative 6. So y equals negative 1/3 x plus 2/3. Everybody good so far? And now we graph. So this one.
It's negative 6 under the 4. You see above.
What I do?
Under the 4 is not above positive 6.
Oh, thank you. Appreciate it. That should be negative as well, shouldn't it? So that's minus 2/3. Okay. So I'll be honest with you, this was not the greatest grid to graph on, and I'll explain why here in a second because we got to like make up. On your test, it will be much better. Everything will fit, I promise. Okay. But like here, where should we start on the first one? Start at the y-intercept, right? Which is negative 6. So here's my origin right here. So 1, 2, 3, 4. You see why it's not a very good grid? Okay. So I'm just going to draw a couple more. So 5 would be there, and we'll say 6 is about right there. That's a little too much in it. Oh, shoot. Didn't mean to do that. There we go. That's a little closer. All right. So we got 6, negative 6. And from there, we're going to go down 3, right 1, correct? Well, if I go down 3, right 1, I'm just going to be more up here. So what else can I do besides going down 3, right 1? I can go up 3 and left 1. Up 3, 1, 2, 3, left 1, 1, 2, 3, left 1. Okay. So here's one graph. All right. And then for the other one, again, it's not the greatest because I'm guesstimating where negative 2/3 is. It's almost to negative 1, right? and from there, I'm gonna go down 1, right 3. Well, again, if I go down 1, right 3, I'm gonna be like over here somewhere, and I'm not gonna be able to really see. So rather than going down 1, right 3, I'm going to go up 1 and left 3. 1, 2. Did I do that right? 1, 2, 3. Up 1. That's not right. I'm putting it too close. Up. Up 1. There we go. There we go. And we now, I'm not going to give you one that's an answer that's a big fraction. If I do, I'm going to tell you. I'm like, look, number 4 is a fraction. Number 5 is a fraction. Otherwise, you'll know, okay, if you get a fraction, hey, I messed up. But where is it crossing? Right there. Not 2, but -2, 0. So this answer was -2, 0. Please, on your test, do not forget to put the answer. Okay, I can't tell you how many times people have graphed it and they just graph it, and they'll even get it right. They show where they're crossing. Okay, but they don't tell me what the answer is. Okay, do I mind if you use your graphing calculator to help you on that one? Not at all. Okay, definitely check it. But I am going to be looking for the graph on your paper. Everybody good? All right. 1 and 2. No problems. I'll review, right? Paris, you doing okay?
Yeah, I'm doing good.
Wonderful. All right, 3, 4, and 5. They want us to solve the system of equations algebraically. That doesn't mean you can't check them using your matrices that we learned yesterday, okay? But they want us to do them algebraically, so we're going to do them algebraically first, and then we can check them. So the first one right here, I'm going to give me some room here. Forget about 5 and 4 right now. Okay? So what do we need to multiply the top equation by? -2. And that goes for if you're getting rid of the x or the y. Okay, so if we multiply by -2, bring that down here, that's going to be -4x minus 2y equals 4. And we add those up, we get 0 plus 0 equals 0. Well, what's my answer when you get 0 equals 0? Infinite solutions. Okay. So I can stop right now and put infinite solutions for number 3. Okay. What if I would have got 0 equals 4? No solution. Okay. No solution. And going back to number 1, this would be consistent and dependent, right? When I get just one answer, it's consistent and independent. Everybody good? Okay. Everybody good on 3? All right, let's do 4. There's 4. Same thing. What are we going to multiply? Which equation and by what? The bottom equation. If you want to get rid of the x's, you're going to multiply by. What if you're going to multiply by to get rid of the y's? -5. So that's up to you. I'll do x. So -3. That will be -3x, bless you, minus 3y equals -15. And then we just rewrite the top one. Add those up. 2y equals 6. Y is 3. And then what do we do to get x? Plug it in. So I'm just going to plug it into that one right there. X plus 3 equals 5. Subtract 3. X is 2. So that is your one answer, 2, 3. Everybody good? All right. And like I said, I don't mind you checking them using your matrices, but we'll wait till the last one to do that because you check basically everything on the test with your calculator, all right? But make sure you show your work. On the review too. No questions on 4? All right, number 5. 5's the biggie, right?
No, you're fine. Every time I ask anybody else, sometimes say ask Brian, sometimes I ask you. How do I get that back to us the phone? The dimensions, it won't around.
One, you're just doing tracking.
Okay, that's it.
So,
I got you. Good deal.
but then,
Yeah, perfect. That's it.
Zoom 6 will make it, Zoom 6 will make it 10, -10. Standard.
Zoom standard. Well, yeah, perfect.
Yes, sir. All right. Sorry about that. We were doing what, 5? Gotta find it. Where are you, 5? There's 5. All right. Oh well. Kind of erased some of our answers over there. All right, 5 is a biggie. Takes a little while. We got 3 variables. I don't know what X, Y, or Z. They're all about equally easy to get rid of, but I think I'm gonna do Y. Every time I have a Y and a Y, that's really easy. So let's do the Y's. So I'm gonna get rid of Y. I'm gonna multiply this one by -1. Okay, we'll bring it down. That'll be -2x minus y minus 3z equals -8. And that's just easy math right there. 3x, the y's cancel, minus 2z equals -7. Okay, now we got to get rid of what again? Y. Make sure you get rid of the same letter twice. Okay, so this time, let's do the top one and the middle one. So what do I need to multiply the top one by? -2. So that would be -4x minus 2y minus 6z equals -16. X plus 2y minus 2z equals 3. Everything good? You're watching me, right? You gotta keep me straight because, like I said, these are long. It just takes one little miss sign to mess you up. -3x, the y's cancel again like we wanted them to, minus 8z equals -13. Look how pretty that is. Which one are we gonna get rid of? Oh, you said Z? Oh, so you're making it hard on yourself. The X's are like screaming, hey, get rid of this, okay? We don't want to be here anymore. All right, so X is canceled. We don't have to multiply by anything. They're good. They just add them up. They go to be 0. That's -10z equals -20. Divide by -10. All of that for z equals 2. And then from there, it's just working backwards. Yes, ma'am. Here, I multiplied this top equation by -2. Everything on it by -2. And I did that because there was a positive 2y on the second equation. And I wanted the top one to be a -2y, so they would add up to be 0. Okay? Any other questions? Take that. I'm going to plug it in right there and figure out x. So 3x minus 2 times 2 equals -7. That's going to be -4, so we'll add 4 to both sides. 3x equals -3. So x equals -1. And then take x and z and plug it into one of these top ones to get y. I'm just going to do the bottom one there. 5 times x. X was -1. Plus y plus z is 2 equals 1. Let's see here. -5 plus 2 is -3, and add your 3 over, y equals 4. And so when you're writing it, make sure you put them in order. X comes first, -1, y comes next, 4, and finally z. -1, 4, 2. Any questions? Everybody's good? Give some of you writing, so I'll give you all a little time. I tried to be nice. There's only 13 problems total, and that one's the long one, okay? You only got one. I guess the multiplying the matrix one is kind of long too, but
Ours will look like this.
look just like that. The only difference is on the back where you're reflecting it and stuff, I'll have the matrices for you. You just got to know which one to use, okay? I mean, it'll tell you which one to use, but you just got to match it up. Everybody good? Yes, ma'am?
When you plug the X in, I thought you had to do it. I thought you had to plug it into one of the original 3.
I did. I plugged it into this one.
You plugged it into.
You mean
I'm
Z?
bad. I meant to say Z. When you plug Z in.
Oh, no. No, because I can't do that because if I plug it into one of the originals, I'm still missing 2 variables. You got me? So you have to find one, and you have to take that one that you find and plug it into the one of the 2 that you made that have 2 variables, okay? That's why it's so important to get that first one right, okay? And that's why I'm going to tell you if it's a fraction or decimal, I'm going to tell you that so you won't freak out. Because if you get a fraction or decimal, you should be like, okay, did I mess up? Okay, it's okay to get them. It just, you know, for the problem to be nice and pretty, I'm going to let you know if it's not supposed to be nice and pretty, okay? Everybody get on the first 5? No problems? Paris, you okay?
I'm okay.
Awesome. All right, everybody got it before I move on? I'm sorry. This test, what in the world? Whew, okay. So you probably noticed that 6, 7, and 8, the numbers down here say 1, 2, and 3. So sorry about that. If that bothers you, just change, you know.
I didn't even notice.
You didn't know it? Well, good. I shouldn't have said nothing. That's because this is an actual copy and paste test, like literally back in the day when you actually had to cut it out and tape it to the other test and then make a, okay, so that's why that happened. I had to find these in some other place. These, you're using the matrices they give you, A, B, C, and you're evaluating what they're asking you to, okay? So the first one, you're just adding A and B. So can you add A and B? Yes, they are the same size. They're both 2 by 2s. So basically, and you don't really have to show any work because you're just adding. So -6 plus 2, you add up the elements that match up with each other. So what's -6 plus 2? -4. 9 plus -3 is 6. 4 plus 4, 8. And -8 plus 2. -6, okay? And like I was saying yesterday, you're going to be graded per answer. So that's 4 answers right there, okay? I'm doing that to help you out, hopefully. Just don't miss it, okay? And then it's not helping you, okay? So
-4.
it'd be -4 if you get them all wrong, yeah. That's what I'm saying. Don't do that, okay? And really, I usually go back and the class overall, like, say everybody misses that one, but that's the only one everybody's missing out of the whole 30. I'll look and see, and I'm gonna do it. I'm not gonna do it different for you than her, but I'll look and see which one would benefit us as a class more. Should I count them as 13 problems or should I count them as the answers? Does that make sense? Most of the time, if I count them as the answers, because that gives you more, 13 problems. If you miss one, you're already making like a 91 or something like that. So they don't take off as much as the more problems you have. So usually it's to your benefit, but if it's not, I will switch it if it's like that for everybody. Okay. 7 is the one that I think lots of us have trouble with because it's new. C times B. So 3, -4, 5, 2, -8, and 6. times 2, -3, and 4, 2.
You're allowed to multiply those?
Okay, you are allowed to multiply them, I believe, but let's check. So what size is this first one? It is a 1, 2, 3 rows by 1, 2 columns. Okay, the second one is a 2 by 2. And so are our middle numbers the same? Yes, then I can multiply them. If your middle numbers are not the same, you can't multiply them. Okay, how big is my answer going to be? It's going to be these outside numbers. It will be a 3 by 2. So my answer is going to look like C does. Okay, and it's just a matter of doing row by what? Row by column. Okay, so row by column. Here we go. This row times that column. So 3, let me highlight it. This row times that column. So 3 times 2 plus -4 times 4. Okay? And then we do the next column. So it will be 3 times -3 plus -4 times 2. Everybody good? And then you do the same thing with the second row. Second row times first column is 5 times 2 plus 2 times 4. 5 times 2, 2 times 4. And then you do the second row times the second column. 5 times -3 plus 2 times 2. And finally, third row, first column, -8 times 2 plus 6 times 4. And then last but not least, third row times second column, -8 times -3 plus 6 times 2. And then please don't leave it like that. Simplify, okay? So what is, let's see here, 3 times 2 plus -4 times 4 was -10. Is that right? -10. Top right corner, we got -9 minus 8 would be -17. All right, middle row, 10 plus 8 is 18. Middle row again, -15 plus 4 is -11. Bottom row, -16 plus 10 is -6. No, that's not right. Is that right?
No, it should be 8.
What did I mess up on?
And 16 plus.
24. I said plus
I
10.
was looking at-
I added the 6 and the 4. Sorry about that. -16 plus 24 is 8. Sorry about that. And then last but not least, I'm going to write it down so I don't mess up again. 24 plus 8, or no, I messed up again. 24 plus 12 is 36. Done. Okay? Any questions on how to do that? And we can do some more after if we need to, because I know y'all are just itching to do more matrix multiplication. It's like your favorite thing ever. I can get you some extra practice.
I just
Okay.
don't know how to, what the heck it's called. Keep getting the matrix to draw. I keep calling that the C, I call it a 2 by 3. I'm seeing like.
Just gotta remember it's row by column. The column, like again, the columns on a house go up and down. So you're counting up and down last. Okay? You're counting how many rows do they have by how many columns do they have. Yeah, because that will mess you up. If you put the size wrong, it will mess you up because like he just said, if you put the size wrong on this one, you're gonna put not possible and it is possible. Okay? All right, number 8. Everybody got that? 8. More work. 2 times b minus a. So 2 times b, 2, negative 3, 4, 2, minus a. Negative 6, 9, 4, negative 8. And you just distribute your 2. 4, negative 6, 8, and 4. You don't have to do this. This is just the Coach Knight way of doing things. I'm going to change that to a what? I'm going to change that to a positive and change all the signs inside the matrix. So positive 6, negative 9, negative 4, positive 8. And then you just add. So 4 plus 6 is 10. Negative 6 and negative 9 is negative 15. 8 minus 4 is 4. And 4 plus 8 is 12. Everybody good? What, Jenny?
How did you do that?
Which part? The adding? Okay. First, I just wrote the problem. All right. And I substituted b for what b was. Minus a, put in what a was.
I thought you said
No, it's 2 times b. So I wrote 2 times b, and then I distributed the 2 basically to the entire matrix, and that gave me this one down here. And then you just here I changed that to a plus, and changed all my signs. It's basically I distribute negative inside it, okay. And then I just added the numbers, just like we did on 1, okay? Yes, sir. Everybody good on the front? All right. On the back, we have a matrix equation. Oops. All right, so I'm gonna work number 9 down here. It says equals, right? Okay, so that means the matrices have to be the same. So what does x minus 6 have to equal? 2y plus x. And what does 2y plus 1 have to equal? X. Okay, so this is just my sneaky way of making you do one more system of equations without you really thinking you're doing a system of equations, okay? But you are. Y'all want to do elimination on this one, or what is this one set up to use? So this is set up to use substitution, okay? X equals this. So I'm going to take what x is and plug it in to x in this other problem. Actually, you know what? I'm going to make this easier. I didn't recognize this till just now. There's a quicker, easy way to do this. What if I simplified that? What happens to the x's? They go away. And now I don't even have to do all that. I just have negative 6 equals 2y. Divide, so negative 3 is y. And now I'm going to plug negative 3 in to get x. That's much easier. Is that negative 5? Okay. So, negative 5, negative 3. That problem just went, got a lot easier, quick. Always look for that. If they're the same letter on either, I mean, they just cancel. It doesn't matter if there's 2x on one side and a 2x on the other. Gone. They're going to cancel every time. Everybody good? All right. 10, A, B, and C. These are all 3 different ones. So you're supposed to multiply, but if you were listening, you can kind of just tell what you're going to do from the matrices. A, you're not multiplying at all. What are you going to do with A? You're moving it left and right, so or up and down. So what do? Add. Okay. So this is for A. We're going to have our, first you got to write your matrix. So 4, 1, -5, -3, and -2, 6. Plus translation to right 3. So what goes on the top? 3, how many? 3 3s. And on the bottom, we're translating it down 5 units. So what number goes on the bottom? -5. Again, 3 of them. And then you just add them up. So this is going to be 7, -2, 1, and -4, -8, and 1. Okay. And I know I didn't give you a lot of room up there, but you just squeeze it in as best you can. Okay. Easy enough. You can even write them like this if you want to. A prime. Yeah, that's actually probably better. And you can probably fit it better, actually. A prime is 7, -4. B prime is -2, -8. And I'll just write it up here. C prime, because I can't write on myself. C prime is 1, 1. Okay. Look, write it like that. That's better. Everybody good? All right. B and C were quick and easy. You are just going to have to be able to identify which matrix to multiply it by. So they want us to reflect it over the y equals x line. So did y'all look it up? What's the matrix you're going to multiply by? 0, 1, 1, 0. Okay. I think you had it backwards there, Brendan. All right. 0, 1, 1, 0. Remember, if you multiply by 1, 0, 0, 1, you're not changing anything. Okay. That is the identity matrix. 1, 0, 0, 1. You're not, it doesn't change it at all. Okay. So this times, again, my matrix 4, 1, -5, -3, and -2, 6. And what does this mean we do with the x's and y's when it's this matrix? You just switch them. All the y's become what? X's. All the x's become y's. So it's basically moving the top row to the bottom and the bottom row to the top. Okay. So we got A prime is 1, 4, B prime -3, -5, and C prime 6, -2. Easy enough. Okay. C, we're rotating it 90 degrees counterclockwise about the origin. So what was my matrix that we got to multiply by to rotate it 90 degrees? Everybody agree with that? Is that right? Y'all tell me. Y'all had the book in front of you. What did you get?
0, -1, 1, 0.
0, -1, 1, 0. I believe that is correct. Okay. So there's an order we have to do things here. We have to change the sign of one of them, and we have to do what with X and Y?
Flip.
Switch them. Which one do we do first?
Flip.
Flip first, then change the sign. Okay? So we're going to move everything from the bottom to the top. Everything from the top to the bottom. And now we change the sign of everything where? On the top. Okay, because the negative's on the top. So that becomes -1, +3, -6. Okay? So we got A prime is -1, 4. B prime is 3, -5. And C prime is -6, -2. Okay? And like I said, they will be provided for you. Okay? All right? You just got to know how to use them. Everybody good? Awesome. 11. Everybody got 10? All three of them? Nope. All right. We're good? All right. 11. We're finding the, what's that mean when it's just absolute value bar looking? Determinant, okay? And again, yes, you can use your calculator to check it, but I need to see the work you used to get it, okay? So if you've forgotten, take the top row, right? So that's going to be 4. In a 2x2 matrix, what do we do with the second number? Now remember? We do the opposite. Okay, so if it's -3, it's going to be what? +3, and then finally +1.
So you're just pulling all of the top numbers?
Just the top row. Yep. This one, and this one. And again, always do the opposite of that middle one. If it's positive, it's negative. If it's negative, it's positive.
Isn't there 2 ways to do it? Like
There were. I think this was the way that y'all seem to. You didn't like it this way?
No, I did that.
I'll do it the other way in a second. We got time. All right. So, what goes in this matrix here? When you're doing 4, you take out the top row every time, okay? Every time, and then you just move the column. So 4, I'm not looking at that column. What's left?
2, -5, 1.
2, -5, 1, and 3. And then I do the same thing for the middle column, okay? I won't take it out. What's left? 7, -5, -1, 3. And then I'm going to do the same thing for, the third column. And what's left? 7, 2, -1, -1. All right? I don't know why that. Seven, 2, -1, 1. And now we work it just like we do a 2x2, which the 2x2s are easy. Okay? So we got 4. And inside here, we're going to do 2 times 3. Add or subtract? It's subtract. Minus -5 times 1. Plus 3. Inside here, 7 times 3. Minus -5 times -1. And then last but not least, plus 1 times 7 times 1 minus 2 times -1. And you just simplify all that. So that'll be +6 plus 5 is 11. 4 times 11, 44. Plus, this will be 21 minus 5. What's 21 minus 5? 16. 16 times 3 is 48. Is that right? And then last but not least, 7 plus 2 is 9. So plus 9. Add all that up, and you should get 101. Okay?
Where'd you get the 44 from?
44, I had 6 here, plus 5. 6 plus 5 is 11. 11 times 4 is 44. Okay?
And where's 48?
Same way. 7 times 3 is 21. Then you have a negative 5 times -1, so that's a -5. And 21 minus 5 is 16, and 16 times 3 is 48. Okay? Everybody good? You want me to do it the other way?
I'm fine.
You sure?
Yeah, I got the-
Allison, you want me to do that way? Okay. Everybody got this way that wants it this way? All right. Remember, you're going to do this later when we start talking about vectors. But for right now, vector. See, you already know what a vector is just because of Despicable Me. It's great. I'm even going to show the clip later. Oh, is it in physics too? All right. So the other way of doing it, rewrite the first two columns. So we got 4, 7, -1, -3, 2, and 1. And I'm going to highlight. We go diagonal from left to right. So that's a little big.
Oh, this one was.
Yeah, like if you're good on the other one, don't do this. So 4 times 2 times 3, okay, plus, we move, come on, that, there we go. We do the next row, there we go. The next row, or diagonal row, would be -3, -5, and -1, plus 1 times 7, oops, 1 times 7 times 1. Okay? And I would keep going, but I don't have room, so I'm going to come down and do the bottom. Now we start going the other direction. And what do we do with these diagonals? What do we add them or what? We subtract them. So minus 1 times 2 times -1 minus 4 times -5 times 1. Huh. Don't laugh at me. Carly's laughing at me behind my back. I hear you snickering.
It was me.
Oh, it was you, Lori? I'm sorry, Carly. My bad. Should have known it was Lori. She doesn't even say hey to people when she sees them taking pictures. -3 times 7 times 3.
Like, for example, so 1 -5, 4 instead of 4 -5, 4, that would be.
No, it would not. It does not. And then you basically simplify all that, and you should get 101. Let's see if we do. So that's 8 times 3 is 24, minus 15, plus 7. That's going to be plus 2, plus 20, plus 9, 63. 9 times 7, 63. And I'm assuming if you added 20 and 2, that's 22. 22 plus 24 is 46. Minus 15 would be 30. 30? No, 31. All right? Yeah. Plus 7 would be 38. And 38 plus 63 is 101. The same answer. Woohoo. Doesn't matter which way you do it. Everybody good on 11, both ways. And again, remember, stick in your calculator, check it, make sure you get it right, and just keep doing it till you do. Okay? It's in your calculator. Yes? Sure. Number 12, we are finding the inverse of A. If it exists, remember, how are you going to know if it doesn't exist? What's your determinant going to be? 0. If you get your determinant 0, it doesn't exist. Okay? So I would do that first. I'm going to find my determinant of A first. And remember, to do that, we're just doing -3 times 1 minus 7 times 5. That is -3 minus 35, -38. So is that 0? Nope. So we can continue. Okay. So my answer is going to be 1 over -38. Remember, it's 1 over the determinant. And then from there, it's just switching things around. Okay. So you got to remember, and you got to Only way to study math is to do math problems. So you can just go home and do some problems. If you'll remember, we didn't do all of them in our book. There's plenty in there you can find. All right. What do you do with the -3 and the 1? You switch them. So 1 goes there, -3 goes there, and then what do you do with the other 2? They change signs. So -7, -5. You are more than welcome to leave it like that as your answer. Okay, remember the only drawback is if you put it in your calculator to check it, it's not going to write it like that. It will multiply it out. Okay, so it would be -1/38 and +7/38 and then +5/38 and 3/38. Okay, I will take either way though. Everybody understand? Okay. And then finally, last but not least, 13, the only one where I'm actually telling you, use your calculator, don't have to show any work. The only work you need to show is that you set up your equation, okay? That's all I'm asking you to show. And then, of course, work it out, but you let your calculator do that, okay? Everybody got 12 before I cut it off? All right, so 13. So you write your coefficient equation, or coefficient matrix, excuse me, your variable matrix, and it's equal to your constant matrix. So what is your coefficient matrix? It's made of what? What's in front of X and Y? It's made up of your coefficients, okay? So the first one's gonna be what? 6 and 4. And then the bottom row will be 3 and what? 3 and -1, okay? Your variable matrix is your variables. So what are your variables? X and Y. And then your constant matrix is the answers. So that's 0 and 1, okay? And how do we get rid of this matrix over here? We take the what of it? Inverse. And if we do it on the left side, we have to what? Do it on the right side. So I'm just going to write on here what you would put in your calculator. So you're going to put inverse. My paper's dirty. Okay, so inverse of 6, 4, 3, -1. And you use that little X to the -1 sign, okay, on the little button on your calculator, all right? And then 0, 1. And you just stick that in your calculator. It should tell you that you get 2/9 and -1/3. Okay, that would be an example of, I would say, hey, 13, you're gonna get fractions, you're gonna get decimals. It's okay, all right? Any questions?
I have a question.
Yes, Paris?
How would I do it without a calculator? Because I don't have one.
I know, you'll have to do it the long way.
Oh,
I found an app on my phone. It's exactly like a calculator.
What is it?
It's called Calculate 84.
Okay, did you try this on it? Did it work? Oh, okay. Well then, you can download, you have an iPhone?
yeah.
Calculate 84.
Okay.
Calculate 84,
It's like a pink.
and Miss Hand in the back is saying it's just like your calculator, and she said she did it last night, no problem.
Yay.
So give that a try.
Okay.
That way you can check your other answers too.
All
It
right,
did
that's fine.
all that? It did everything? Okay, she said it did everything on it. So if it doesn't, blame her, okay?
All right.
All right, I'm gonna stop. For those of you watching, I hope you've enjoyed your lesson. We'll see you tomorrow. I really need some like theme music to like go out, you know,
Make an intro.
an intro and an extra. What's the outro? Outro. That's it. All right, stop recording.